mate with her and thereby perpetuate his own genes. The barnyard again was to prove remarkably like the plains of Africa. MacDonald recalls the events leading to a gruesome discovery.
As I watched at the communal den with these 4 sets of kittens all together, 9 kittens in total, the scene was really a very intimate one. The kittens were, as you can imagine, a chocolate box scene in amongst straw bales. Their nest was built in amongst a stack of bales, and a narrow passageway led into the kittens, and they were all just piled on top of each other, and each mother would come and go from that den, each suckling the kittens indiscriminately. And on this occasion, I was watching this nest of kittens, and in slunk the male. Then within just a few seconds, this commotion brought the mothers running, but not soon enough, because by the time the mothers came back and chased away this interloping male, of the 9 kittens that had been in that communal den to start with, 6 of them were slain. So I think we've come up with 2 answers, both of them perhaps rather surprising, to why cats may benefit individually from living communally. One of them is that they can look after each other's young by sharing the load of nursing, and the other is that females may be able to repel murderous males.
Thus, cooperative care by a number of females increases the likelihood that more kittens, even orphans, will be watched over and thereby protected. What other unexpected parallels may exist between these barnyard lions and their wild cousins is yet to be discovered. In another English village, the image of cats as ruthless killers was confirmed in a different way. It began with a local teacher. Peter Churcher has taught biology at the Bedford School for 15 years.
And those 2 will have started before that one, and of course it's important that they all start at the same time, isn't it? Right, so back to the beginning there.
A cat owner himself, Churcher applied the discipline of his scientific training to explore the unseen world of the house cat on the prowl. Throughout England, indeed in much of the world, cats are let outdoors to roam the neighborhood at will. How much impact on wildlife, Churcher wondered, do cats actually have? Unable to follow the cats, he did the next best thing and enlisted the help of their owners.
Well, the first thing was to go around the village and just find out who had cats. And so I knocked on everybody's door and said, had you got a cat, and were you willing to take part in the survey? And surprisingly enough, virtually everybody in the village did. And that meant that I had something around 78 cats to start off with, which was a good number.
Oh, hello.
Morning, Marjorie. Have the cats called anything this week?
Yes, one little body for you. Ready and waiting.
Thanks very much. Well, that's nice. No, that's a field vole. Who caught it?
Eccles.
Eccles again?
Yes, the black and white one. He's quite a good hunter for us, isn't he?
Yes, actually, the others don't seem to be catching very much.
Laziness, I would say.
Laziness, yes.
Peter.
Lovely.
I think it's it Woodmouse Field?
I was very surprised at how cooperative the owners were in the survey. I think a lot of people don't like the idea of picking up dead bodies and putting them in polythene bags, but most of the people in the village gritted their teeth and did it, and some even went as far as to put them in the deep freeze, which was nice because, as you can imagine, at the end of a week in the summer, often the dead bodies were getting rather smelly, and it was pleasant to have them put in the deep freeze before I got hold of them.
To work and look at that under the microscope. That's Wednesday.
When the specimens were labeled and the numbers of dead totaled, Churcher and the Cats of Felmersham made headlines.
There was quite a reaction by the media when we published, because if you extrapolate the figures for Felmersham over the whole country, you do come up with some sort of fairly big sums. So, for example, if the cats in Felmersham caught 14 animals each during the course of a year, we know there are about 5 million cats, domestic cats, in Britain. So that means that 70 million small mammals and birds are caught by cats in a year. And so the domestic cats, in spite of their reliance on man for food and a lot of other things, are still remarkably independent. And I think what our survey has shown is that they're also very important as predators on the ecological stage.
Churcher does not propose that cats be confined indoors. Others insist it is essential, not just for the wildlife, but for the safety of the cats themselves. While debate continues, one thing is certain. In every well-fed cat by the fire lies a dormant tiger, primed for the thrill of the hunt. Because cats are seen as self-sufficient hunters, many people feel no qualms about abandoning them. Nationwide, millions are dumped every year. Near Oxnard, California, animal welfare activist Leo Grillo has tried for weeks to trap 2 cats living in this jetty. Such brutal conditions are a death sentence for cats, and he devotes his life to rescuing them.
When the winter hits, these rocks are really cold, and the waves are cold, and the mist is cold, and the fog is cold. The cats are cold. And everybody thinks they have a fur coat, they're going to be fine. And it's always like this, and when it's a bad winter especially, it's really pitiful.
Here at the farthest tip of the rocks, the cats have retreated from the taunts and bottle throwing of uncaring strangers. But they are also completely cut off from fresh drinking water, so Leo baits his traps with it.
Hi, Jet.
He has named the cats Marina and Jetty because of where he found them.
Come on, Jet. Come on, Jet. Come on.
It is not uncommon for Leo, infinitely patient, to return to the same spot week after week.
Marina. Marina.
To Grillo, these cats appear relatively tame. Clearly, they were not born wild, but raised in the comfort of a human home. But these same humans abandoned them. The cats no longer trust.
Hey, Jet.
For Leo, it is always a waiting game to see which is stronger, thirst or fear.
Atta boy. I'm coming down. All right, Jet. All right, here you go.
When I get a cat, and those traps are set, and I get a cat to go in the trap, and that door comes down and slaps, that is the most exciting feeling. And that little saga, that little story, the trips to this one little rock to feed that one little cat is now over. It has an ending.
After weeks of failed attempts, this day would finally bring success.
Easy. Easy.
Tired but exultant, Leo would trap both Marina and Jetty and bring them back to a world of care and love. Grillo runs 4 licensed shelters in California, but they are only for animals he himself has rescued. An ever-changing number of cats and dogs live out their lives here. If it gets too crowded, he says, I just expand. Leo and family live nearby with 60 cats. This ranch house is home to more than 150 at last count. Dry food, 7 tons a year, is left out at all times. Canned food is fed twice daily, totaling more than 80,000 cans per year. All of this is paid for by private donations.
There we go. Come see Jetty and Marina. Come on.
After a trip to the vet for shots, blood tests, spaying, and neutering, Marina and Jetty are ready to meet the others, but only from the safety of their cages.
JJ, Junkyard, come on. Come see your friends, come on. This cat is in ecstasy just to have food. Real food. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful thing is they were caught together and they can tame down together. Comfort each other. Come up here. There you go.
Whatever drives Leo Grillo, obsession or passion, he spares hundreds of cats a certain death.
What happens when we bring them in is we try to reestablish the trust. And we just tell them we love them. We show them we love them. We do things that show them we care about them. And we build their trust up again. Eventually, they trust us. Oh, you're a good boy. You're a good boy. Oh, it's my baby.
For many people, the cat is all but hypnotic, soothing and calming just to behold. Through the ages, an uncounted number, graceful, beautiful, and mysterious, have captivated the human mind and eye. Scientists learned that simply petting a cat lowers human blood pressure. Now, some go further and suggest cats may actually benefit our longevity. In a small town on Long Island, one innovative woman is playing a role in the sweeping changes in healthcare. When her cats helped her cope with an illness, Joan Bernstein was inspired to reach out to others.
I became ill. I developed chronic fatigue syndrome at that time, not knowing what it was. The disease was not defined at that time. And there were days when there was no way I felt like getting out of bed, crawling out of bed, literally in pain, and feeding the cats, changing litter pans, and doing everything else that has to be done. But I did it because the cats insisted that I do it. Sometimes they'd just be my hot water bottle or my comforter. Whatever I needed them to be, they became. And so I became very aware of the value of the cats as a therapy.
Lonely, often forgotten, the institutionalized elderly have been cut off from a lifetime of friends and memories.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most beautiful grand champion champagne mink Tonkinese.
At Brookhaven Healthcare Facility, Joan's Tonkinese cats are eagerly awaited every month.
Is this gorgeous?
Bred for their stable temperament and sociability, they offer therapy at many levels.
As we go by. The warmth of the cat on her lap is very important. Just holding the cat in her arms. First of all, it's good exercise for her. She's utilizing the muscles in her arms and her hands. So we have the physical aspect of it.
Look who I brought you. You think she's trying to tell you something? Come on. Okay. She'll stay right there with you, Mr. Hook.
Patients who have difficulty with recall, of the present, okay? In other words, remembering the present from now to tomorrow, or now till next week, or now till a month from now.
That's Muzzle.
They will remember the cats.
She's a lot like the one I brought here one time who was sitting on your shoulder, remember? Yeah. And I took a picture of you with the kitten sitting on your shoulder, and only half the picture came out. funny. He really is a big guy.
So soft and so pretty, isn't she?
Some scientists believe cats touch people more than other pets do, literally and figuratively. Their lithe and graceful movements are non-threatening, and the cat's shape and size are basically the same as a human baby's. For most people, an automatic invitation to nurture and love.
She is beautiful. Oh, I'd love to hold you all day and all night. I really would.
Another world touched by Joan and her cats is a residential school for autistic youngsters. The cause of autism is not fully understood, and currently there is no known cure.
Oh, hello.
Locked largely in a world of their own, the children are extremely difficult to reach. Some, like John, erupt uncontrollably. Easily frustrated, he often reacts with raging tantrums. While no one pretends the cats are a miracle cure, they regularly bring about miraculous breakthroughs.
How can you tell me what color they are if you don't look?
For John, the cats open a window on a bright new world.
Game with me. I think you're playing a game. John, if she's red, then I'm from Mars. Do I look like I'm from Mars? No. No. She's brown. And what color are her eyes again?
Blue.
That's right. How about looking at the eyes? How about looking at them? Oh, okay. Did you want to give her a kiss? Okay. Etta? Etta, what have I got? Etta becomes very agitated. As you can see from her rocking back and forth, the constant motion. And the more she rocks, of course, the more agitated she is. I can take the cat over to her, and at first she may thrust it away. But if I'm persistent, sometimes I have to withdraw a little bit and come back to her. But if I am persistent, the cat can stop her.
Later, Joan will try again.
What have I got? Is this a nice cat? Do you like this cat? I see them relating to the cat so much more openly, so much more freely than they do to other people. They can trust the animal. With every individual I've worked with, they have eventually reached out. And I think it's because there is, again, that sense of communication that says, trust me, I won't hurt you. Is she saying give her a kiss? Do you want to? Okay. Let me turn her around this way. Give her a kiss back here. Okay, a little closer. Good. Okay.
Joan senses she can approach Etta again.
Okay. By holding the cat and focusing her attention on the cat, she will stay still and she will talk to the cat. She's with us for several minutes at a time. How about saying, hi, kitty? Hi, kitty. Good.
Hi, kitty.
Good. Okay. We're talking about therapy. We're talking about hands-on, and we're talking about one-on-one and up close. We're also talking about cats that are capable of creating interaction or curling up in somebody's arms and saying, I'm all yours. Right this minute, I belong to you. You're special to me. And I love you. So hold me and feel good.
It was said that a long time ago, probably in our own golden age as gatherer hunters, that we could talk to the animals and they would talk to us. And I think part of understanding felinese is that we can learn the cat's repertoire and have a deeper communication and communion with our cats. Love for cats is part of a universal love for all creatures, which impels us toward a reverence for all life.
Subtle, amusing, enigmatic, regal and serene, cats remain ultimately independent of their human companions. They move among us as half-wild creatures, the only domestic animal man has never fully conquered. Plain or fancy, barn mouser or lord of the hearth, they have fired our imagination. But we wonder, did we adopt the cat, or did Tabby simply deign to share his life with us? In the end, it is a tantalizing mystery, one that we, being mere humans, can never hope to solve.
See a Soviet Union special on Scientific American Frontiers, next at 9 on Channel 10.
Mate with her and thereby perpetuate his own genes. The barnyard again was to prove remarkably like the plains of Africa. MacDonald recalls the events leading to a gruesome discovery.
As I watched at the communal den with these 4 sets of kittens all together, 9 kittens in total, the scene was really a very intimate one. The kittens were, as you can imagine, a chocolate box scene in amongst straw bales. Their nest was built in amongst a stack of bales, and a narrow passageway led into the kittens, and they were all just piled on top of each other, and each mother would come and go from that den, each suckling the kittens indiscriminately. And on this occasion, I was watching this nest of kittens, and in slunk the male.
How much impact on wildlife, Churcher wondered, do cats actually have? Unable to follow the cats, he did the next best thing and enlisted the help of their owners.
Well, the first thing was to go around the village and just find out who had cats. And so I knocked on everybody's door and said, had you got a cat, and were you willing to take part in the survey? And surprisingly enough, virtually everybody in the village did. And that meant that I had something around 78 cats to start off with, which was a good number.
Years.
And those 2 will have started before that one. And of course, it's important that they all start at the same time, isn't it? Right, so back to the beginning.
A cat owner himself, Churcher applied the discipline of his scientific training to explore the unseen world of the house cat on the prowl. Throughout England, indeed in much of the world, cats are let outdoors to roam the neighborhood at will.
then within just a few seconds, this commotion brought the mothers running, but not soon enough, because by the time the mothers came back and chased away this interloping male, of the 9 kittens that had been in that communal den to start with, 6 of them were slain. So I think we've come up with 2 answers, both of them perhaps rather surprising, to why cats may benefit individually from living communally. One of them is that they can look after each other's young by sharing the load of nursing, and the other is that females may be able to repel murderous males.
Thus, cooperative care by a number of females increases the likelihood that more kittens, even orphans, will be watched over and thereby protected. What other unexpected parallels may exist between these barnyard lions and their wild cousins is yet to be discovered. In another English village, the image of cats as ruthless killers was confirmed in a different way. It began with a local teacher. Peter Churcher has taught biology at the Bedford School for 15